Alrighty, class is in session. Right now is like the best time to start. If you're gonna start a new habit, losing weight, any of that, and you wanna have that installed within you before summer is over or during summer, right now is when you need to start. So I'm gonna give y'all three basic tips on how to lose weight, how to start working out, and how to stay consistent so you get consistent results and get the body that you want for summer. No one should have to go through summer not being able to enjoy it. Take your shirt off and go out and do things. Feel comfortable in the clothes you're wearing, feel confident in the gym, all those kinds of things. People shouldn't have to not experience that, and they shouldn't not know how to do it. So today I'm gonna give you basic tips because from my analytics that I see on my YouTube channel, a lot of y'all are beginners, essentially. That's amazing because at the beginning, you can make it so simple, yet get such great results. So I'm gonna give y'all three good tips or three different topics, and then kind of explain a little bit about those so y'all can have a better idea of how to lose weight, get bigger, and all that kind of stuff. So the first point I wanna make is gonna be a little bit, I won't say corny, I won't say cliche, but just a little bit off topic, and it's this right here. Self-belief. I know that it's hard to believe in yourself when you haven't yet done something, like let's say you're a 200-pound kid, you're overweight, you wanna lose weight. So it's kind of hard to pull together confidence to believe in yourself that you can do this. But I think this is one of the most important things that you can install within yourself and work on while you're losing weight is the fact that you believe you can do it. The fact that you believe and the gut feeling that you believe you can lose the weight or gain the weight that you want to will carry you so much further than anything else, I think. That's something that I had from the get-go of all my journey, of my whole fitness journey was like, I believed I could do it. And I think once you believe something, you'll start thinking you can do it. And once you start thinking you can do it, you will do it. And then when you do it, you will become that. So I think this is huge. You gotta have self-belief. And another good point with that is off point, but don't believe, that's horrible, but don't believe other people when they say you can't do it or it's so hard. I know this is gonna sound kind of mean, but getting in shape and losing weight is not that hard. You just have to overcome like 2 or 3 barriers in the beginning. And once you overcome those barriers, you install this new habit of health. And once you install that new habit of health and you see the result you get from it, you continue that for as long as you want to. You know what I mean? So don't believe other people when they say you can't do it or it's so hard, or you have to do this or you have to do that. It's really not that complicated. And I'm going to explain to you right now why it's not. Point number 2. All right, please ignore my handwriting, but simple as that. You need to move more and eat less if you want to lose weight. That is as simple as I can put it. So if you're a beginner and you don't know how much you should eat, or you don't know how much you should move, or any of that, I would suggest the first thing you do is the eating part. Just go to a calorie calculator. There are hundreds of, maybe not thousands of these on the internet, right? If you're a beginner, you don't need to know the exact specifics, okay? That's a problem I ran into when I started, is I want like the exact answer and the exact diet, and I'm still like that, and I want the exact training, I want all of that. But there is no exact answer for you. Because the exact answer, well, there is an exact answer for you, but there isn't an exact answer universally. Because the diet that you're gonna need and the amount of calories and movement your body requires is not the same amount that the 300-pound bodybuilder across the street is gonna need. Everybody's needs are different. So if you're a beginner, start here, find out take a few different calorie calculators and kind of see if it's like a reoccurring number, like let's say it's 2,300, right? If it's 2,300, just start there, okay? What you go is you go from here, let's say you get 2,300 calories from this calorie calculator. Start off by just taking 250 off of that. So 250, that's gonna leave you with 2,050 calories, okay? what you do is you eat at that calorie amount. Let's just say take for a week. Let's say you take your weight on Monday, you're 200 pounds, okay? You eat at this calorie amount for the week. Take your weight next Monday. If you are down a good amount of weight and you still feel good, you still feel like energized, keep it here. Don't move anything. There's no point in moving your diet up or down if you are making progress. I've ran into that myself. I'm like, well, man, I lost 2 pounds this week from this diet. Maybe if I ramp it up a little more, I'll lose even more. It doesn't always work that way. And if you're making progress, why change it? If it ain't broke, why fix it? So, calorie calculator, see what the majority of them say. I'd say take away anywhere from 250 to 300, depending on what your goal is. Get that amount. Eat at that amount of food for a week. Eat that many calories for a week, and that's gonna be my next point. Actually, hold on. I'll address this next. But what I was gonna get at is being able to be self-sufficient. Okay, being able to consistently and accurately and honestly track your progress every week from Monday to this Monday to this Monday, for all these Mondays, to be able to track all of your stuff through the week and be able to come back at the beginning of the week and reassess if you're making the progress that you want to make each week is huge. And that's why I feel like having a coach sometimes and having a trainer can come into play, is because you know that at the end of the week you have someone you have to report to. And especially if it's someone that you kind of respect or whatever, you kind of want to make them proud in a sense. Excuse me. And having someone there to hold you accountable is great. And that's why you need to be able to hold yourself accountable. I think that's a huge aspect that a lot of y'all could benefit from, is being able to hold yourself accountable. Like come back at the beginning of next week, look back on the week you just had, and be able to confidently say, yeah, I did all of my power to reach my goals. I did all of my power to eat my diet correctly and check all the boxes and all that kind of stuff. So you need to be able to be self-sufficient. You need to be able to sustain all the checking the boxes by yourself. You shouldn't have to have someone to check into. You should be able to do all this yourself, because honestly, once you start seeing the results, you're going to want to do it anyways. But even when you don't see the results, this is huge. You have to know that this is a part of a bigger plan. If you're not seeing the progress, it may be harder to be self-sufficient and do the check-ins. Like, well, I didn't lose any weight this week, or I didn't eat good this week. That's all right. You live the fight. You live the fight another day. You'll be fine. Now the point of move more. This could be through structured exercise. This could be through like cardio. This could be simply just getting out of the house and not just sitting around. And if you have like the weekend or days off work, those are huge times to really hone in on getting your activity level up, because the only way that you lose or gain weight is calories in, calories out. To lose weight, you need to burn more calories in a day than you are consuming. And that doesn't mean through active calories alone. I had that issue when I first started out, that I thought I had to burn more active calories than I ate. And I was like, how do I burn? Because when you work out, I'd say when you train really hard, you don't burn as many calories as you do just resting. So that's like a mechanism of the body y'all may not know. Your metabolic rate, you just existing throughout the day, will burn more calories than you will through planned exercise and cardio. So that alone takes up a large amount of the calories you burn during the day. I didn't burn during the day. I didn't know that. I thought whenever people said you got to burn more than you eat, I was like, how do you guys be burning this many calories in a day, like working out? That's not the case. So, for example, a person with a larger body mass, a larger muscle mass, will burn more calories than someone with a lower muscle mass. So the more muscle you have, the more calories you will burn at rest. But in general, you burn calories at rest during the day. So I didn't know that until like the past year. So that might make a lot more sense to you guys. So you can probably look around and look up like, what is my resting metabolic rate? And you can kind of go off of that, which, it's different. You can go off of websites and like kind of like the calorie calculator. You can take them for what they're worth, but they're probably not exact. But you can take it with a grain of salt and kind of go off of that. So, but you need to be moving more. You need to be burning more than you are consuming. So once you have an estimate of what you think your metabolic rate is from whatever, you add that and you take the exercise that you're getting. And if that equals a greater amount than what you were consuming, you should be losing weight. That's a simple equation. Write out the equation for you. M times, how can I put this? Move more times eat less equals gains. You gotta move more, you gotta eat a little less, and you will lose the weight. It's that simple. Just to plug something right quick, if you guys are confused, frustrated, or struggling with any of your goals, I'm gonna put the link to my coaching forum down in the description if you are interested in being coached by me, so I can guide you through any diet, any training, and anything of that aspect that you are interested in. I will help guide you to your dream results. So if you're interested in coaching to Medlin Wellness, which I'm still figuring out my business name, whatever, but if you're interested in that, I'll put the link to the form in my description. So if you're interested, fill that out and we can get working. So back to the points. Point number 3 is going to be kind of like point number 1. It's going to be kind of like, oh yeah, duh. But number 3, and this is probably, if not, it's probably the most important one. This is the reoccurring thing with literally anything that you want to do in life. Start a business, lose weight, get good at something, start reading, whatever. You have to do this diet thing consistently every week for a lot of weeks. You can't just diet really good blank, blank, blank days and then not these days. It is literally the gold in the game is consistency and time. You can have it all figured out. You can have the exact calories you need to be eating. You can have the exact grams of food that you need to be eating. You have the exact amount of minutes and steps you need to get in a day. But if you don't consistently do this for a long time, you will not get results. And simple as that. If you don't consistently read for a long time, you will not become a good reader. If you don't consistently draw something for a long time, you will not become a good drawer or painter. And that's something I cannot stress enough, is that this and this is ultimately more important than you can't read that, whatever. This is more important. Your consistency, time, and I'll even put effort, your effort towards it. This is way more important than your diet and training. You are consistently trying to figure this out and find out what's the best one. For a long time, with a lot of effort, this will come easy. This will come natural. But if you don't consistently try and improve this and do this for a long time, trying to do this with a lot of effort, trying to do this, you won't get results. And that's as simple as that. To wrap this yap up, I did these from order of importance. So this is the most important, and not saying this isn't important, but this is the most important for sure. So consistency with your diet and working out for a extended period of time. And when I say time, if you want to say lose 20 pounds, this will probably look like 2 to 3 months of consistent effort. If you want to lose just 10 pounds, this could be 1 to 2 months. It depends on the goal, it depends on your effort, and it depends on your consistency. It depends on all these, how quickly you make your results and how long you have to do this for. Which honestly, once you make the results you want to make, this will continue to 6 months. And then this will continue to a year. And then who knows, this will continue. Like for me, I was like, I'm gonna lose 30 pounds or 15 pounds in 3 months. And I thought that was like a huge astronomical goal. I lost 15 pounds in a month and I was like, wait, I'm cooking. So, and then that led to 3 months, and then that led to 6 months, and then that led to a year. And now we're here 3 years later, and I want to be a bodybuilder. Who would have known? And who knows where you can go? Who knows where you're going to take this? You could lose all this weight, and then you could be the most fit person your family's ever seen, or the most whatever you want to be at school, or the whatever you want to be at your job, this or that. Who knows where this consistent effort for a long amount of time can take you? So that's the first point, the most important point that I think you need with everything in life. And then number 2, move more and eat less. You need to burn more than you are eating to lose weight. Simple as that. Don't make it any more complicated if you're a beginner than that. You need to move more, you need to eat less. Simple as that. And if you need help with figuring out how much to move and how much to eat, like I said, my forum will be in the description. But point number 3 is self-belief, and this is big with anything in life. You got to believe you can do it. If you don't believe you can do it, you won't do it. Simple as that. If you don't genuinely believe that you will do the work, you won't do the work. And if you don't do the work, you won't get the results. So you need to sit back with yourself and be like, listen, I am this person. I am that mofo. I will do this. So you need to sit back whenever you decide whatever your goal is and be like, I'm going to do this, and I will do anything in my power to make this happen. And once you have that self-belief, once you have that strong gut self-belief, I think I've come to realize is all of this becomes 10 times easier. It's like, how can I make it a funny expression? It's like when you have this, it's like all your bullets in a video game are like 10 times the damage. All this stuff becomes so much easier when you believe. When you believe that all of this movement and all this eating less and all this effort and all this time and all this consistency will pay off in the long run. That's a huge thing with self-belief, is that you know that the work that you are doing right now will pay off in the long run. It may not feel it like right now. You may go a week, you didn't lose any weight. You may go 2 weeks, you didn't lose any weight. You may go 3 weeks, you lost a pound. You're like, dude, this is not worth it. But then it's that 4th week, and this is where a lot of people get trapped, and I'm about to shut up, I promise. But let me erase this, hold on. What I notice a lot in any sort of progress you want to make in life, there will always come a time where you go through this valley. And I like to call this, I actually got this from a book, the Valley of Disappointment. So the Valley of Disappointment. And this could be a month, it could be 2 months, however long it is for you will depend. But it's where you go a period of time not really getting the result that you want. And that is okay. That is common with anything you want to do in life. The huge factor between you reaching your goals and not is being able to get to the other side of this and still be doing the work that you did in this time. And not, once this valley of disappointment keeps going, if your level of self-belief drops with it, then your progress will go like this. It'll go down. It'll keep going down because you don't believe. But if you can get through this valley of disappointment and still do the work, even though you're not seeing the result, your progress will begin to skyrocket. I have no doubt about it. That's happened to me time and time again. It's like, I don't think I'm making the progress I'm making. I don't think I'm doing this or that, and then boom. I get through that valley and I look back and all of the work I was doing during that time period is finally paying off. And when you see this spike in result, you gain this motivation to keep going, and then your result just keeps skyrocketing until whatever you want to make it. So that's another good point with self-belief I wanted to make before I close this video out. Is at some point, especially beginning your fitness journey or whatever it may be, you will go through that. And I think knowing that beforehand, before you get to it, will put you in a good situation. So when it does happen to you, you kind of already know, okay, this is going to happen. I'm sure I'm already kind of prepared for this to happen, and you know it's common, so it's not like a surprise to you. But yeah, those are my 3 points to you getting shredded, and it doesn't have to be shredded. It could just be in shape, comfortable in your body for the summer. You got to be consistent for an extended period of time with a lot of intentional effort toward your goal. You got to move more, you got to eat less, and you got to believe you can do it. Write those 3 down, put it on your wallpaper, write them in a journal, and think about it. So those are my 3 points. I just kind of want to get up here and use in my mom's classroom, a little whiteboard to kind of give you guys an example and just write some things out. But if you enjoy the whiteboard videos, or if you want to see more stuff like this, let me know. I hope you guys have a great week, great weekend, a great Easter if I don't see y'all before then, and see y'all in the next one. Love you guys.